For a few strong to severe storms as we go into Friday afternoon. Now, right now it looks like it's more scattered along the coast, but as you creep up further inland and closer to the I-59 corridor, there's sort of a hint that maybe that might be the bullseye of where the greatest concentration of storms may be, or the heaviest rain may be. However, all it takes is for that little area of concentration to maybe shift a little bit further south or east, and that could put more of South Mississippi in the risk zone for more heavy rain and potentially severe storms. Now, as we go into the rest of the weekend, during the day on Saturday, the front comes through, so it'll gradually turn cooler, but Sunday is looking colder, and next week in general is looking colder. So here's where the severe weather risk is. Storm Prediction Center, they're located in Norman, Oklahoma. They are to severe weather like what the National Hurricane Center is for a tropical system. So Storm Prediction Center, they look for areas and diagnose areas where severe weather is possible, and they highlight regions where storms are possible. And when you look at the Storm Prediction Center map here, it goes from marginal to high. So the higher you go up the scale, the more likely severe weather is going to be. So South Mississippi is in generally a slight risk for severe storms as we go into tomorrow. So the risk is not extremely high, but it's not zero. So we need to stay weather aware as we go throughout the day, tomorrow afternoon into the evening. Now, as we go into Saturday morning, we will have a risk for a few strong to severe storms as well. However, maybe a little bit less instability, and the winds may be a little less favorable for widespread severe storms, but we can't rule out an isolated severe storm during the first half of the day on Saturday. So looking at Friday, the potential, can't rule out an isolated damaging wind gust, a quick spin-up tornado, or maybe some hail with some of those stronger storms. But there could also be a developing flash flooding risk depending on where storms develop and where they go. And what I mean by that is there's a signal where it looks like some areas could see multiple rounds of thunderstorms that could dump locally higher amounts. And that's why the National Weather Service actually issued a flash flood watch basically along the I-59 corridor and further west. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that was extended a little bit further east to maybe include Stone and George counties as we go into tomorrow morning. Rainfall potential. And so this is what I've been looking or kind of talking about, sort of looking at this corridor along I-59 where there could be multiple rounds of storms going over the same areas, dumping a lot of heavy rain. But notice how close that is to the rest of South Mississippi. You know, if that bullseye just shifts a little bit further south, then more of our area could see those heavy storms. But right now, the best chance for seeing the heavy rain and thunderstorms comes in around Pearl River County, Hancock County, parts of Stone County. So basically, the closer you are to the I-59 area, or maybe you could say west of Highway 49. But again, we're kind of splitting hairs here. You know, if this shifts just a little bit further off towards the east by about 15, 20 miles, well then more of the coast could get involved in all of this. So that's why we just want everyone to stay weather aware as we go into tomorrow afternoon. So let's time it out on Futurecast. Here we are by 6 a.m. We'll see scattered showers and thunderstorms kind of developing to our west. By lunchtime, scattered showers and storms kind of moving in across the region. And then after about 2 or 3, storms could become more widespread. And I will say that the latest run of this high resolution model called the we call it the High Resolution Rapid Refresh Model. It does show more storms over South Mississippi by the afternoon hours, a little bit more aggressive with some of these storms. So again, that's why we're not letting our guard down when it comes to the potential for severe weather tomorrow and also heavy rain. Then we kind of fast forward to Saturday morning. Here we are by 6 a.m. The actual front finally begins to push through. And ahead of it, there could be some scattered showers and storms. The severe weather risk on Saturday morning looks a little bit lower compared to what we have for Friday. And during the day Saturday, even though the front pushes through by noon, there could be some lingering showers across the region. I just want to show you, again, this is the same model, but looking at the total rainfall through about 10, 11 o'clock on Friday, it kind of shifts the bullseye of heavy rain a little bit further over towards South Mississippi. So that's why I'm just kind of showing you this, that, you know, it's either going to be, could be right over us or just to our north and to our west as far as who gets the heaviest rainfall totals. Here's the storm system. You could see the area of low pressure spinning counterclockwise across the northern plains. Ahead of it, the counterclockwise flow that brings in the southerly winds ahead of it, pumping in all that moisture On the backside, the cold front pushing through, those northerly winds around that low pressure. We're already seeing some showers developing just to our west into Louisiana. A little bit of fog tonight, but again, it doesn't look as widespread as we've seen over the last couple of nights. Already 69 degrees, our dew point sitting at 67. Low temperatures tomorrow will gradually fall into the low to mid 60s. High temperatures tomorrow, we're climbing into the 70s and 80s. It's going to be a warm day. But behind that front on Saturday comes the colder air. By Sunday, we're struggling to get out of the 50s. In fact, by Monday and Tuesday of next week, the coast and inland could be looking at some maybe frost, maybe a light freeze potential. Doesn't look like a pipe freeze though, so not really worried about that, but it will be colder compared to what it has been. So your 7-day forecast, it looks like this again as we go throughout the next couple of days. Temperatures generally in the 70s and potentially stormy at times Friday going into Saturday.